You are listening to an exclusive horror story on the Masia YouTube channel. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. In the dim light of dawn, the village of Fonglu awakens to another dreadful morning. Mr. Chung, the village chief, is roused from his sleep by frantic knocks echoing through his modest wooden home. Mr. Chung stumbles to the door, greeted by a breathless messenger, eyes wide with terror. Chief Chung, it's happened again. Another death at the Liu household, the messenger gasps, desperation in his voice. The village chief's heart sinks as he remembers the recent tragedies that have befallen the Liu family. A family once renowned for its wealth, now haunted by successive deaths. First, old Liu's beloved wife, then his eldest son, and now his grandson. Mr. Chung hastens to the Liu estate, his mind racing. The villagers whisper among themselves, their words laced with fear. It's the Hung Thinh curse, surely. The chief can't ignore the palpable aura of dread that envelops the village. Arriving at the estate, the chilling atmosphere of grief is overwhelming. The sprawling house, once vibrant with life, now casts a shadow over those gathered. The heartbroken cries of mourners fill the air as Mr. Chung steps inside. Inside, Mrs. Liu, the young boy's mother, sits by his lifeless form, eyes red with tears. She recalls her son's haunting nightmares, how he spoke of seeing his father being dragged away by a faceless entity. Her voice trembles as she recounts the chilling visions. The villagers, standing outside, are gripped by a palpable fear. The cries of anguish from within the estate seep into their hearts, confirming their worst fears that the Liu family is cursed. Panic spreads, tension thickens, and a sense of helplessness hangs heavy in the air. As the last notes of the mournful funeral chants faded into silence, the air was thick with the weight of loss at the Liu family estate. Khanh, Liu's second son, stood to the side, his jaw set, eyes burning with unspoken anger. Family members whispered about the curse, their words curling like smoke through the air. He could take no more. Khan's voice cut through the murmurs, sharp and defiant. It's nonsense, all of it. I won't listen to these superstitions any longer. He turned on his heel, leaving behind the spirit incense and grieving faces, his resolve firm. He would return to the city that night. The road stretched out before him as Khanh drove into the gloom of the rural night. The headlights cut through the darkness in stark contrasts. Each turn of the wheel seemed a defiant act, a rejection of the whispered warnings left behind. Suddenly, an apparition emerged from the shadows, a haggard old woman, her eyes two black voids. She stood in the center of the road, her figure ghostly in the haze of his headlights. Khan's heart seized in terror. He yanked the wheel, tires screeching in protest. The car veered off the road, careening into the thicket with a deafening crash. Silence returned, a heavy, oppressive silence, broken only by the distant croak of night creatures. News of Khan's fate spread like wildfire, a storm of shock and grief. The gruesome details were relayed not through words, but by images, a camera lens capturing the tragedy, then shared in the merciless realm of the online world. Back at the Liu estate, grief hung thick in the air. The family gathered in an emergency meeting, desperation etched into their faces. We must seek out a sorcerer, one voice urged, trembling with fear and determination. Khan's death had shocked them into action. They could no longer deny the curse's grip. In the heart of bustling Tai Bin City, where the ancient and contemporary collide, Khanh walks with a determined stride. He's a university student respected not only for his academic prowess, but for a unique gift, his profound spiritual sensitivity. The sun begins its descent, casting a golden hue over the city's chaotic dance of life. In this vibrant tapestry, he moves with purpose, as if guided by an invisible thread. Khan's path leads him to a quiet side street where Huang, a timid freshman, waits nervously. Her face shows the weight of unseen troubles. She approaches him, her voice a whisper of urgency. Khanh, please, I need your help. My friend, she's not herself. Something's taken over. There's a tremor in her words, a plea for hope. Khanh follows Huang to a nearby apartment, each step echoing with the weight of the unknown. Inside, the air feels thick, oppressive. They enter a dimly lit room where Huang's friend lies writhing on the bed, eyes glazed with an eerie emptiness. Khanh approaches, his presence calm yet commanding. He reaches out, softly speaking to the tormented spirit. I know you're here. You don't belong in this world anymore. The air crackles with energy as Khan's hand hovers over the possessed friend. His words are firm but gentle. Find peace. The pleasures you seek are no longer yours to have. The room seems to breathe in response, the suffocating heaviness lifting as the spirit's hold loosens. Gradually, the friend's body relaxes, her eyes clear, freed from the ethereal chains. Huang watches in awe, her anxiety melting into gratitude. Thank you, Khan, she says, voice filled with relief. But her mind still carries the burden of another worry. She hesitates, then asks, My brother. He's been acting strange since his accident. Can you help him too? Khan nods, recognizing the urgency in her tone. I'll come. There may be more than meets the eye. The air was heavy with anticipation as Khan and his loyal companion, Dai, approached the modest wooden house. Its paint was chipped, and an air of neglect hung over it like a stubborn cloud. The wind rustled through the leaves, whispering secrets of the past as they crossed the threshold into Huang's world of worry and sorrow. Within the dimly lit room, Huang's brother lay on a frayed mat, a shell of the vibrant young man he once was. Khan crouched beside him, his face etched with concern. His spirit is tethered to this world, Khan murmured, searching for clues in the brother's vacant eyes. But why? Determined to uncover the truth, Khan and Dai set out for the Bridge of the Three Maidens. The bridge was shrouded in legend, the site of a tragedy where three sisters had met their untimely demise. It was a place where time seemed to stand still, and the air hung heavy with the weight of unsolved mysteries. Standing at the center of the bridge, Khan closed his eyes, attuning himself to the currents of the spirit world. With arms raised and words of power tumbling from his lips, he called upon the spirits of the maidens. Slowly, they materialized before him, their faces a tapestry of sorrow and longing. We seek justice, they moaned in unison, their voices echoing like a lament carried by the wind. Khan opened his eyes, meeting their gaze with a steely resolve. I am here to offer peace and resolution. What has bound you to this world? The spirits swirled around him, their translucent forms flickering like candle flames. One of them stepped forward, her eyes filled with ancient grief. He did not honor us, she whispered, a tear tracing down her spectral cheek. His words were careless, his actions thoughtless. Khan understood now that Huang's brother had unknowingly disrespected the spirits, and in their anger, they had sought reprisal. I apologize for his transgressions, Khan began, his voice steady as he addressed the restless spirits. He meant no harm and will make amends. Let his soul be freed. The spirits whispered among themselves, their voices a soft murmur. Then, like a gentle breeze, their anger began to fade, replaced by a serene acceptance. We will let him go, the lead spirit intoned, her voice a soft melody of forgiveness. But remember our story, that others may not repeat his mistakes. As their forms dissipated into the morning mist, Khan felt the air lighten, the tension release. He turned to Dai, a small, satisfied smile playing on his lips. It's done, he said simply. Let's go home. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the Liu estate, an air of unease hung heavily in the gathering dusk. The estate, nestled amidst undulating hills, appeared serene yet suffused with a lingering dread. A chill that was not of the evening breeze whispered through the ancient trees, as if something unspeakable lay hidden beneath their roots. An unusual visitor arrives at the doorstep of the grand but weary mansion, a sorcerer from Yanbai, clad in flowing robes of midnight blue, embroidered with intricate symbols of protection and power. His eyes, sharp and probing, seemed to scan the very air for hidden threats. He was summoned to unravel the mystery that gripped the Liu family in terror. Inside the mansion's dimly lit hall, the members of the Liu family gathered, their faces etched with fear and hope. The sorcerer began his ritual, chanting ancient incantations, his hands weaving through the air with practiced precision. The room crackled with energy, a faint shimmer enveloping the space as if something ethereal was being drawn into existence. The air grew thick with anticipation, but suddenly a cold wind rushed through the hall, extinguishing the candles and plunging the room into darkness. A sinister wraith emerged, a malevolent presence with glowing eyes and a voice that reverberated like the toll of a distant bell. It taunted the sorcerer, its voice echoing with a power that made the very walls tremble. Paralyzed with fear, the sorcerer staggered back, his confidence shattered. The wraith's laughter filled the room as it lunged, its ethereal hands reaching out. In a desperate bid for survival, the sorcerer abandoned his attempts, fleeing through the heavy doors without a second glance. Despair settled over the family, their hopes dashed as swiftly as they had been raised. Meanwhile, in a quiet corner of the village, Khan received word of the Liu family's plight. Concerned and curious, he decided to investigate. As he delved deeper into the troubling events, he soon realized the situation was far worse than what the rumors of a simple curse had suggested. The truth, it seemed, lay buried beneath layers of fear and silence. In the dim light of early evening, the ancient spiritual array takes form, its intricate symbols glowing faintly in the courtyard of the Liu estate. Khan, a skilled exorcist, moves with precision, his hands tracing the final strokes with an urgency born from necessity. He whispers incantations, his voice a soft murmur, yet filled with a power that resonates through the air. Tonight, the stage is set for a confrontation that could determine the fate of the estate. As night falls, the air grows colder, and a palpable chill descends upon the estate. The once faint whispers of the night now carry with them a new sound, a mournful wail that echoes through the silence. From the depths of the shadows, the wraith emerges, her form ethereal and haunting. Her eyes, dark abysses, seem to pierce through the very soul, and an aura of anger and sorrow surrounds her. Khan stands resolute, his stance firm as he faces the apparition. Khan draws his staff, its surface etched with protective runes, and begins the incantation to banish the wraith. His voice rises with conviction as he commands the spirit to return to the void. The wraith responds with a keening cry, a sound that reverberates through the estate and shakes the very ground beneath them. In a violent burst, she lunges at Khan, who barely maintains his footing against the force of her attack. The battle is fierce, a dance of light and shadow as sacred symbols flare brightly in the night. Despite his efforts, Khan finds the wraith to be far more powerful than anticipated. She is fueled by an unyielding rage and fueled by an ancient grievance, each attack more relentless than the last. Khan staggers under the assault, the ground beneath him cracking with the force of their struggle. Just as despair begins to creep in, a familiar voice cuts through the chaos, a voice of wisdom and strength. It is Khan's master, arriving in the nick of time, his presence calming the storm. With a commanding gesture, Khan's master begins to chant, his voice rich and resonant, calling upon the aid of a powerful deity. The atmosphere shifts as if the very heavens have opened, illuminating the courtyard with a celestial glow. A figure, majestic and radiant, materializes, confronting the wraith with an authority that cannot be denied. The deity extends a hand, and in that moment, the wraith's rage is met with understanding and compassion. The battle is over, her vengeance quelled. In the aftermath, the wraith, now subdued and at peace, reveals her tragic tale. Once a wronged soul, her vendetta against the Liu family was born of betrayal and injustice. As Khan's master recounts the story to all gathered, it becomes evident that her pain was real, her quest for vengeance a misunderstood cry for justice. With her story finally heard, the wraith fades into the night, her spirit finally free. The Liu family, touched by her plight, vows to honor her memory, ensuring such a tragedy never befalls another. In the dimly lit parlor of the Liu family mansion, the air is thick with tension. Shadows flicker ominously as a cold breeze sweeps through the room, causing the candles to dance. The Liu family stands in a tight circle, eyes wide with a mixture of fear and anticipation as they await the wraith's next move. Suddenly, the temperature drops and a chill races down everyone's spine. One of the family members, Mai, begins to tremble violently. Her eyes, once warm and brown, turn a ghostly white. The wraith has chosen her as its vessel. Mai's lips move, but the voice that emerges is not her own. It's ethereal and echoing, resonating with a haunting sadness. "I was once a maid in this house," the voice begins, "betrayed by those I served with loyalty and love. The master of this house, in his greed and pride, wronged me, sealing my fate in eternal torment." As Mai continues to speak, her hands move as if tracing the memories of old, painting a vivid picture of her past. "The Liu family," she intones, "once held power, but with it came a thirst for more. Promises were broken, and I was cast aside, my cries for justice silenced by their deceit. The family listens, horror and regret etched onto their faces. the weight of their ancestors' sins bearing down upon them. The wraith's voice, though sorrowful, holds an undercurrent of yearning, a longing for release. I was sealed away, it continues, my soul trapped, a debt of blood unpaid. For decades I have watched, waiting for my story to be told, my truth to be unveiled. The master of the house, his face ashen and drawn, steps forward, his voice steady, yet filled with remorse. Your suffering has been heard, he declares, his tone firm. I vow before my family and ancestors, justice will be yours in the afterlife. Release the souls you have captured and find your peace. The room holds its breath as Mai's body shakes violently. The wraiths hold faltering. If true justice is what you promise, the spectral voice whispers, then I shall let go. With those words, Mai collapses, the connection severed. The air grows warmer, a serene calm settling over the room. As dawn breaks, the first rays of sunlight stream through the windows, casting a golden glow over the exhausted faces of the Liu family. They stand together, reflecting on the night's events and the weight of their family's past sins. A profound silence envelops them, only broken by the soft rustling of leaves from the garden beyond. Khan and his master, standing slightly apart, observe the family's moment of introspection. Their presence has been a catalyst for change, a bridge to a new understanding. Khan and his master are approached by the head of the Liu family. Thank you, he says, his voice laden with gratitude. You have helped us more than words can say. The spirits are finally at peace. Khan nods, acknowledging the sincerity in the man's eyes. It was a debt long overdue, he replies. May your family